All right, yeah, let's get them. There we go. Shoulder girdle dock. That's the one. And then obviously we hit them with the Instagram story post. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Hope we're doing well. Man, the default Instagram typeface has really trash emoticons because the parentheses in the default Instagram typeface are just really ugly. So they never feel cute. You gotta hit them with an actual emoji instead. Well, there you go. Okay. And you know the drill. Before we jump into like anatomy studies proper, we'll just do some figures. With the fun pen. Drawing with the fun pen is fun. But it's Tuesday. How can I be tired? I've had a whole last day of week already. Everyone knows you're only supposed to be tired on Mondays. Even Orange Cat knows. The day of the yawn. Okay, and now we actually got to think about shoulder girdles anyway, because he do be raising his arm and tucking the other one. This guy's got pretty big arms. And as per usual, I still draw them way too big. But there you go, something like that. Cool. Cool. Maybe a bit more tilt to the head. Emphasize the gesture. And actually, I think we should rotate the entire torso in the same way. It actually looks like he's reaching. Alrighty. First drawing means T. T threshold. Next up, do a lot of these double lines recently, but I think it's like a crutch. I think it's like actually a bad habit. It looks kind of appealing, but it's also just like a way to introduce uncertainty to drawings with thin lines, which I should, you should just be certain. If you're not certain, you just it's like that Rick and Morty episode. You'll keep on creating new realities. Tear the shit to pieces. It's really funny to me that she says his zodiac sign in the middle of the song. Don't believe that foot. It's crazy how when you get your Spotify Wrapped, there's no reason to ever listen to anything else. This is the good songs. We're listening to the good songs. You spend all year finding the good songs. Now you have them. Now you know them. No reason to search or explore. See, I'm just introducing uncertainty when I should go like, okay, I think the line should be there. And then like I can always be wrong. But not doing like but doing more lines is not gonna be a service to me in the long run. We can do a better rhinoceros belly than that. It's closer. Damn, that's 5, huh? Don't like those legs. But whatever, man. Good morning, good sir. How are you doing on this fine day? Just the explosion of a clipping track. Well, I guess something's got to get the energy up. All right, and legs. So what are we going to do today? Just a bit of this, a bit of gestures, and then a bit more anatomy studying. Yeah, still not happy about where my shoulder girdles are at, so we're going to spend some time on that still. It's a tricky area too, so definitely not wasted time to do some studying of that. Then probably, but this will be off stream, afterwards. Getting started on drawing the Christmas presents. It is the holidays. A little big on the whole legs situation. All right, next guy. But I almost always like to start with a bit of figure drawing. Probably my comfort zone. It's funny because I don't feel like I can necessarily comfortably do it well all the time. That's not what that means to me. But it's like a nice space to exist in. It's just drawing figures. Like I'm comfortable just drawing figures and not quite being able to figure it out. And you'll study along with me. Nice, nice. Yeah, but but you're gonna have to find your own reference, because the overhead of having the right reference display on the Twitch channel without showing anything, any info about me that I'm not supposed to show is too much work that I want to be doing it in the morning. Because I am referencing most of these. But just showing the reference kind of takes too much time away from the practice for it to be worth it for me. All right, let's try this a little differently. And it just got hot enough that I need to take off the hoodie. Give me a second. You guys draw your Christmas presents? I've been doing it forever. I was considering quitting this year, and just buying some presents. Because also, I mean, part of it is you're not always sure that people appreciate like a drawn Christmas present. But I do feel like at least at this point, close family might be a little bit disappointed if I don't draw them something, and then it feels weird to go half half. Like if I were to, because I'm celebrating Christmas with uh, my mother, my uncle, my cousins, sister. If I were to draw a homemade present for my mom, but then just like, my uncle gets like an olive oil or something. I don't know, like a like a set of craft beers. I don't know. I don't know what normal people get for Christmas presents. Um, it's gonna feel like one of the gifts had a little bit more love in it than the other ones, right? Here, Mom, here's a nice handcrafted, thoughtful drawing that I made for you. And then, Uncle, I don't know, here's like a power bank. There you go. So I think we're gonna go full drawing meta again this year, probably. Big difference is normally I do them traditionally, but I think they're going to be digital and then prints this year. I know traditional can feel nicer as a present sometimes because it feels more like it's an original. Um, I don't know. I just prefer digital as a medium. I think it's more fun for me, or I'm more in the mood for it. Maybe just. Could probably exaggerate big hand, small hand on this one. Exaggerate the space a little bit more. And another one. Dude, I love that bar. It's such a Jacob bar. It's so stupid. My girl said she wanted change, and then she got a quarter back. That's funny. That's good. Maybe when I get older, I'll learn to appreciate the finer things. But for now, the stupid things is really where it's at. Dumb is so good. Good morning, Gohan. How you doing? Pretty good. Pretty good. living the dream, drawing every day while not starving. Life's good. Broken body, but we keep going. Sorry to hear, man. Eight hours of volleyball. Volley's fun. I played it a bit with some schoolmates at uni. I think I probably did like one good smash with like I learned the jumping technique, you know, you go the arms up and then you go tuk, 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 and then you jump and then yeah. Indoor. Though I do think, and I hear the opposite from people who actually play volley, I do think beach volley has more aura. Haiku shit. Yeah, exactly. Friend of mine taught me. I do think beach volley has more aura, even though like indoor volley is more hardcore. Cause like if you trip and shit, you get hurt. But diving for the ball, beach volley, sand splashes everywhere. You just barely get it. It's difficult to jump. Oh, fair enough. I just think the saves have crazy potential in beach volley. That's a very short calf for how long we're making the thigh and for the perspective that we're trying to sell here. If you have abs and shit, that adds more aura. Yeah, no, that's true. For real, what I'm imagining when I talk about Beach Ball 2 is like the fucking Avatar, The Last Airbender, Zuko diving for the ball. You remember that? Remember when they did beach volley in Avatar? That was cool. Yeah. That's how I feel when I play football tennis. The sort of like the regular sport we played at animation school was football tennis, which is it's kind of like volleyball, but you just do it with a soccer ball, and then we allow a ground like a bounce on the ground. The football tennis, we're not very good at it, so we let it bounce on the ground once between each pass. But I was like my archetype was the guy who like swooped in and saved the ball when nobody else expected that it could be saved. Like really like ran for it, and then it's like it's almost touching the ground, but then like time stops and you just barely get a toe under it, kick it back up, and you keep going. How do you smash in that game? Kind of like that. Kind of like you do like a whip, like a thwip. Libero. Oh no, I don't know the reference. Like a whip, like a cool whip. Yeah. That's a fun game. I did twist my ankle pretty bad doing that once. Because we had some obstacles and shit in the courtyard too. And one time I did just like run down into like a hole and like really, twist my ankle. But it is a good leg workout, and it's good cardio. It's good fun. Good spot to practice like your trash talking skills. Very important, of course. Yeah, sure. Next one. Next up. What a banger. What a banger. Goofy movie, kind of the GOAT. Playing sports or some kind of physical activity is goated. You said it. I mean, hardly a novel observation, but very true. Very true, definitely. It's good health gains. What's up, one Casey man? How you doing? Sports is health gains. It's like playing video games, but better. It's social. You get that sense of progression, and you actually do progress in something, like in the real world. Olympic shooting has everything except the health. Yeah, yeah. But health is an important bit of it. The good kind of dopamine. Sports is kind of like, what if drugs but sustainable? His hand is maybe a little small. Arms maybe a little small. That's what's up. You had 330 for 20 shots. Dude, I don't know. I don't know ball when it comes to shooting. I have no idea if that's a lot. I'm assuming it's like some Herculean feat because of the way you're pitching it. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It did have that feeling of like, I did this impressive thing. You did 20 shots in 3 minutes. No one's ever done that. Thanks for following Daydreaming with Vega. What's up? YW. I'm still learning internet abbreviations. Yeah, word. Yes, wingman. It's not like your 330 was bad. You're welcome. You're welcome. One day I'm gonna be like the Twitch lawyer. Right now, it's we're just learning those words. Sport of choice, best sport. Okay, but unfortunately, you guys all get mocked by climbing. Well, unless you do it, because everybody climbs these days. So maybe you're on the good team now. Kind of the best sport. Okay, there's another drawing. There you go. Top 3 sports. You don't know anyone who climbs? Maybe I mean it's really popular in Copenhagen as well, but I feel like it's just really blown up. Everybody climbs these days. Jenya Garnbret, admittedly the world's best climber, has like 900,000 Instagram followers. It's crazy. Rock climbing, table tennis, volleyball. Table tennis is fun. Table tennis is fun. The best sports. You know, I'll hand it to the Americans for basketball. It's up there. It's not number one. We've discussed number one. Basketball, pretty good sport. Indoor climbing. Yeah, I've actually been outdoor more recently. I was outdoor climbing on a rock in Sweden day before yesterday. That was fun. See, okay, so football tennis is really good. It's really good. But I honestly think that part of why I think it's so good is because of like the situation and the company that I did it in. Because it's like we're all art nerds at school. None of us actually know ball, right? So it was this chance to have fun with a new sport in a context where nobody really was very good at that new sport, and then you could get good, reasonably good within the context, quite easily without really knowing what you were doing. So everyone kind of got like a special move and got to be like a little bit of a star in their own way, right? That was really fun. But I think, I mean, if volleyball had been the popular sport at school, that could have done the same thing. That could have been that same thing. So we gotta actually evaluate the counterfactuals. No, if it, the facts of the sports, right? The more you fuck around, the more you find out. There's also a bunch of sports that have just never done, right? Never done. Okay, let's do personal tier list. It's like climbing 1. I think I'll do basketball 2, football tennis 3, volley 4. National sport of Denmark. We're kind of like a handball kind of crowd. That is what it is in English as well, right? I've heard that we originated the sport. It's a Danish sport. We also win most World Cups and Olympics and shit. We're pretty good at that one, but I don't think handball is a very nice sport. It's so turn based, and I don't know, man. It doesn't feel very cool. There's something about like you're doing the easiest thing you could possibly do with a ball, which is have like a very light one and then just like throw it. It's like the easiest way of manipulating like a sphere-shaped object. I have played it, but not a lot. Not a lot. It doesn't seem like a cool sport. Man, I never have enough space on the page. Kind of goated sport. Okay, sell it to me. I've never seen it. I've never seen the potential. And maybe it's, I mean, it's a long time since I've played it. Maybe it's like really fun to play. But like as an idea, it's just, it doesn't feel very interesting to me. Call me Storer, the way my lines are sketchy. Remember that? Remember that title? That's for this leg. All right. Dude, the fucking, what am I doing gesture-wise? It's like you could rotate it this much and it's kind of more accurate to what we're actually seeing in my reference. Thoughts of using generators for maps? What? Huh? Doing D&D. Okay. Yeah, what kind of map you generating, Chief? Yeah. My words exactly. Whole country? And you're saying like you're gonna be using AI for that, and like what's the moral weight of doing such a thing? Is that what's up? It's an itch.io gen. I don't know what that means. Are you accepted in society if you generate maps from ChatGPT? I'm sure you're accepted in society. Like my homeboy, my roommate, that must be the definition of the word homeboy. Holy shit. Anyway, he's used AI quite a bit for his D&D. You know, I'm not gonna lie, it's not like it sparks a lot of joy in me. It's not like I'm like, yes, dude, that's the best fucking thing. I'm so happy for you. But it's like, if your usage of AI is not hurting anybody, you know, just doing it for yourself, go ahead. Why not? It's kind of like, I mean, when I was a DM, I would not. Well, sometimes I just like get a piece of art off Google, right, and be like, okay, this is the guy, and you're technically using somebody else's art without their permission, but it's like it's not gonna get back to them. It's not gonna hurt them. Yeah, yeah. If you publish, it feels different, right? Exactly. It's kind of like taking drugs for your own purposes versus selling drugs. No, I'm kidding. Shit, shit, shit. The drawings are getting worse. Wild reference, but accurate. Twitch, we do not promote drugs here. No, that's good. Yeah, it's good that my viewers can cover my ass. We're talking in-game action. Yeah, no, yes, of course. We're talking about like in the game Cyberpunk 2077. It's like it's good for your reputation if you don't sell. Wait, no, that's not. What am I trying to say? She's kind of hitting like a gnarly dance move, this lady. In GTA 6 story mode mission, yeah. The one where you do have to do drugs. It's like, of course, of course. It's like tied to the in-game progression, and in that sense, it's okay. But you know, she owns the dance floor. I've never been a GTA player. Do I think it's going to be worth it? Probably not, right? Probably not. I think the my analogy, the what a piece of media that would be analogous for me to the whole GTA 6 thing is probably something like Spider-Verse 3. Um Beyond, that's right, Beyond the Spider-Verse. It's a little different. I mean, Into the Spider-Verse was like slightly life-changing for me, like career trajectory wise and shit. Um and really good, and I memorized it, and I wrote like a school paper on it and shit. But second movie was kind of really good, but not the same amount of magical. And then we'll see about that third one. We'll see about that third one. It's gonna be like Red Dead 2 in terms of detail. Oh, you're talking GTA 6. Again, I'm not super invested. There's one guy who carried Spider-Verse 2. There is? I don't think so. I think a production like that is a team effort, man. You're like a Spider-Punk stan? Not the production. Fair enough. Fair enough. Yeah, obviously it does, but I think a movie should be like a an enclosed unit of good. You stand Scarlet Spider. Is that Miguel O'Hara? Whomst is Scarlet Spider? Or is it that guy, the weird, gritty, comic-y guy that sort of sometimes it is Miguel. It is Miguel. Okay, but he the bad guy. I don't think. I think a movie should be a good, solid, satisfying viewing experience without having to wait 3 years for a third sequel. Hot take, I know. I think it is a bad for the movie if it is not good unless you can also watch the third movie, which comes out in 5 years. Hottest of takes. Kung Fu Panda, Puss in Boots, Cars. Dude, what do you mean? All those all those leads are so charismatic. Got Jack Black, Lightning McQueen, and Antonio Banderas. They're awesome. Ka-chow, bro. All right. We're gonna lower the table and lock in a little bit. Tai Lung's pretty cool. But I mean, he is not as charismatic as Jack Black. Tough to beat, honestly. Tough to beat. His name was Shen. He was a peacock. I think his name was Shen. What are we up to now? Maybe some more shoulder girdle oriented stuff. Some more specificness. Other people use correct words like specificity. But I'm a quirky girl. So yeah, I hope the third Spider-Verse is good. But probably honestly, I mean they're not gonna take the first one away from me, so. Top three goats of anatomy. I'm gonna go Coraco brachialis. Uh, what else? What do we got? Underrated. Richet's band. Richet's band is goaded. You got your kneecap. You got your vastus medialis. You got your rectus femoris. You got your vastus lateralis. You got your sartorius up here, and then oh my god, if the leg is kind of like resting, the leg's kind of like resting, and like you're putting some weight on it, then you get Dr. Paul Richet's band comes in here and does like a little bit of like a divot in the vastus medialis. Underrated. Underrated. It's not even a very good demo, but Richet's band. And finally, let's go with Teres Major. Everybody knows him, but he's kind of like a goat. Like undisputed goat, Teres Major. Nah, Delt's too mainstream, man. Delt's sitting up here feeling like they own the world. Just because like they're up higher than the scapular muscles. Meanwhile, the scapular muscles in like the from the right angles can almost be like as significant of like a bump on the surface of the back as the deltoids, man. So you get this feeling. Delts, scapular muscles, delts. Well, and I'm even saying like Teres Major, not really an underdog. Kind of like a recognized goat all to its own, but I'm just saying if Teres Major is maybe this is gonna be a tough pull. Chris Pine. Teres Major is maybe Chris Pine, and Delts are like George Clooney. Tom Hanks. Yeah. Delts are Tom Hanks. It's good. It's good. You got it, man. Teres Major is like Chris Pine. A little underappreciated, always delivers. Also leading man energy, you know. People know he's good, but you know, you can put some extra love on him once in a while. How about Traps? Traps is a good pick. I can see Traps. I can see Traps. Anyway, teachers, I'm gonna go with. I really like Tom Fox. He might be my GOAT. I just and it's not even that like all his anatomical conceptions, mass conceptions are the best, because he does do this thing where it's like, oh, to simplify the arm, I draw like an octagon, and then I split up the octagon in like 3 segments, and one of them slants a little bit to the top, and one of them slants a little bit to the bottom, and then I make sure that the back is way wider than the front, and then, you know, it's like very. Sometimes I feel like he overcomplicates the models a little bit. And he'll be doing shit like, oh, take a box and stick a cylinder on it. Now you've got the end of the humerus. And then for the ulna, do another box that actually grasps the box of the humerus, like actual anatomy. But I really like his emphasis. I mean, a lot of his models are really good, and they are very good for just like understanding the form. Probably a good exercise once you get a little bit more advanced to draw them once or twice. So really there's nothing there. It's just a little bit advanced for like beginners, which is fine. Not everything has to be for beginners. But what I also really like is his emphasis on doing this yourself, making your own models, not just taking somebody else's models and running with them, but studying the anatomy yourself, and making up your own mass conceptions and then updating them as you learn more about the mass conceptions. Or as you learn more about the anatomy, you can then update your models, your mass conceptions to better represent the anatomy. And like he's big on creating these anatomical models from function, which I think is really smart, because if you start with anatomical function, then you have a better understanding of how muscles deform, how muscles move when the skeleton moves. And his approach, I think, is really, really strong for learning to draw from imagination. So, huge goat would be, anatomy teacher goat would be Tom Fox. He'll be doing stuff like this shit. And a lot of art takes that I hold very firmly, I do have from that guy as well. So, other good anatomy teachers, maybe you have to put some respect on Michael Hampton. I think a lot of his ideas are good. Dude, I'm not the biggest fan of his drawings. His actual drawings don't feel that appealing to me. This is like a taste thing. I don't know. Michael Hampton. Yeah. He's got a book that's pretty good. I'd recommend it if you haven't read it. It's a good book. Other really good anatomy teachers. Have read it indeed. Okay, fair enough. I just think there are like better draftsmen out there. But he's got some important ideas in that book. Yeah, maybe Loomis, honestly. Yeah. I don't know why I didn't think of him as like an anatomy teacher. I was like, there's Bridgman, but I don't like Bridgman that much. Could be Loomis. He has I believe he has several good books. Though I've really only deep dived into drawing the head and hands. Okay, what are we? I mean, sure. This is a fully legal tangent to have. Bridgman's book is weird. Yeah. I think everyone should look at Bridgman at some point, but I don't think everybody needs to. This is maybe a hot take. I don't think Bridgman's for everybody. Roll this clavicle back, because these are raised arms. And it's mainly because like I don't think Bridgman is for me very much, you know. So that's what's informing that take. Can we? I think we can. I think we should. Even more rotation to that clavicle and that scapula as a result. That looks about right. Sounds good, Gohan. Have a good one. Yeah, for sure. Thanks for hanging out. And okay, then we gotta make some more space for this one. Oh yeah, yeah. A bit more rotation to that. Proko's honestly a pretty good anatomy teacher. It's just I think a lot of the anatomy I learned from doing Proco, and maybe that's just because it's like I was a beginner at that time. A lot of the anatomy I learned from that wasn't very appealing, and I had to really work later to make it appealing. Um, I do have a lot of good anatomy knowledge from Proco videos and courses. Those are not femurs at that length. I don't buy it. And definitely too wide as well for like a male skeleton. That looks decent. A lot of tier listing today. That's been fun. Don't usually do that much. Maybe we can raise that whole neg head complex a little bit more. Man, anatomy really is like my special interest, huh? kind of like a huge dream for me to be able to draw this shit like correctly, appealingly, from imagination. Maybe one day we'll get there. This, okay, so tiny little huge mistake here is that everything past the rib cage is too big in this one. Feels way better. 1.5 head heights for the rib cage. Important measurement that I use a lot. And you're, what's that even? Pronating. What did I say? 1.5 to 1 2/3 hand lengths for the forearms. Even miss you. This feels okay. I think this humerus feels a little long now. Because we're supposed to be about the length of the rib cage. Yep. Loved it and I hated you and let you go. And he's standing on needles. On needles. He's Camille from League of Legends is what he is. Oh, that's the other hand. Yeah, obviously. Okay. Well, you can still draw it. It's just actually another like teacher that was significant for me is Robert Beverly Hale. He has this book, Drawing Lessons from the Great Masters, and he talks a lot about how like different artists or different situations can call for different mass conceptions of the same parts of anatomy. So like sometimes it's useful to think of the knee as like a boxy form. Sometimes that gives a certain feeling that you can be after, right? The knee as a boxy form. And other times, different situations call for thinking of the knee as like a spherical form. And that'll give you a different feeling. It'll give you a different like design for the anatomy. We'll put in Richet's band here. Awesome sauce. Yeah, but that's been actually quite an impactful idea for how I approach drawing. I don't use the same system, the same forms for every part of the body every time. It depends on the pose and the character that I'm drawing. All right, let's drop this back and do something over top. Yeah. I think the big thing for me about I've been talking about how the clavicle sometimes gets buried in muscle on very strong people. I think I've updated that idea, so it's now the clavicle sometimes gets buried or always gets buried when arms are raised. Because I feel like if the clavicle is lowered, you still get clavicle even on really strong people. But if the arm is raised, clavicle rolls back and it's just immediately like covered by the pectoral, which attaches to the humerus, right? And like the silhouette of the arm becomes much more about pectoral than deltoid, right? What are we doing putting the triceps in front of anything? There we go, much better. Anyway, there's another tangent. Put in like an indicator of how tubular the form of the pectoral can get at the end. Starts flatter, but it can become quite cylindrical near the end. This guy's got lats for days. Let's just put that in. And what's wrong here? Well, gap between ribcage and pelvis too big. Classic mistake. Also, I think I drew the pelvis a bit wide for like a male pelvis. Let's get a Greek arch in here. Drawing very extreme physiques these days, but I mean, it is quite good for just having all the anatomy like spelled out to you. This guy's kind of got that thing where you can tell the striations of the obliques as well. Obviously, there's a serratus anterior moment here. Yeah. I feel like you always have to put like a goofy ass face on complex anatomy studies. Kind of just elevates it. Something like I think that what it is it needs to be really simple. Mandatory to have a little, at least a little bit of fun with the faces on your anatomy drawings. I think something like that works too. Yeah. Okay. Cool. Another tangent. Rhinoceros belly always for the flexors. Because it just works. It just works. Arm down on the wait. Yes. Arm up on the down, sorry. Arm bent. Ulna becomes a triangle with the epicondyles. Arm up, ulna down. Oh, you're doing more. Pectoral. Less delt on that one. This thing has been huge for the gesture of my forearms. It's just, you know, and it works for almost every forearm, I feel like. I go quite skinny towards the wrist end of the forearm, and then you just at the very end, you give it like this triangular feeling. So it's like a trapezius or a triangle that then goes into a skinnier rectangle. I don't know, I've been really liking that gesture for forearms. And it works with skinnier ones too, I feel like. Where it's like you go skinny for most of it, you do rhinoceros belly for the flexors, and then add a little bit of that triangular tapering feel just at the crook of the elbow. I don't know, man. Feels good. Feels forearm-like. All right. And we return to the study. What do we have there? Try biceps tendon. Then we're looking to the inside here. Honestly, don't know. Getting a little bit of this shape coming up here, this form. I don't know what that's from. You would have the biceps tendon coming in here and wrapping around the forearm. That might cause a bit of like a feeling of an indent here and up here. But that's not quite what I'm seeing. Okay, can't explain that one. Because you can't always know all of the anatomy. That would be no. Yes. That's what I'm looking for. Definitely feel like I'm seeing progress in the legs. Can still exaggerate the stair stepping a little bit more. Feet, I'm still trash at drawing. We'll talk about feet some other time. Anyway, this was mainly supposed to be like a shoulder girdle study. I think we managed to do that. Moving on. What's up, Alvin? How you doing? Let's do another one. Warming up, nice. We're the same, you and I. Well, I guess probably we are warm now. We're just more than that doing anatomy studies, I guess. Anything wrong here? I think maybe. No, let's see. Ribcage looking kind of correctly proportioned. I believe the pelvis distancing I think is fine. It's probably just like the arm proportions actually. Put a scapula here. Put a head of a humerus. Somewhere like there. And then do like a rib cage length out. Feels better if you ask me. Okay, and then, you know, hand shenanigans. No, trust the process. Great. And head's a bit big. Cool. Now we go for some specifics. Whoops. Take a sip of the tea. I can't call out my tea these days without being reminded of the Denzel Curry Tiny Desk concert where he freestyles about sipping a tea in his cup. Told Tiny Desk, he said, "What's up? You a goose, better duck." We're feeling a bit cold again. We'll get the scarf. Maybe stretch the wrist a bit. It is 2 hours of literal constant drawing that we've been doing. I don't think I stretch my wrist enough. I've gotten a lot better at not tensing as much when I draw. But I don't stretch. I don't stretch my wrists. And I mean, it would suck to have to be right-handed for like a year. I'm convinced we'd rise to the challenge, but I think the drawings might take a little longer for a little while. And then I feel like people tell me to stretch the right hand as much as the left hand, or the non-dominant hand as much as the dominant hand, which just, I don't know, it doesn't make sense to me because the strain on the non-dominant hand isn't as big as the strain on the dominant hand. I get the idea that you want to like train symmetrically, stretch symmetrically, but if you're not straining them the same way anyway, you know what? Actually, I do stretch my wrist. This is so smart because I stretch them when I go climbing. Maybe that's why I don't have carpal tunnel yet. All right, that's 3 minutes of stretching break. Ooh, and the queue is looking good for the next like 10 songs. And now we go scapula somewhere around there. I think actually it feels a little low. That's my center line. That looks like a correct acromion process placement. Cool. Looks good to me. Let's do the overtop anatomy figuring out. Trapezius attaches to acromion process. Twists up here. Inserts. Originates from skull. Inserts on skull. That one I actually don't know. C7 here? C7? Or is it C6? It might be C6. No, it is C7. We're goated with the sauce a little bit. The most protruding vertebra. I'll get back to my reference. This lady is not a bodybuilder, but quite toned, which helps really tell the landmarks apart. True, the scapula is a bit too big. Scapula is about half the height of the rib cage. Okay. And then of course when I do these anatomy studies, I'll be like explicitly stating the muscles much more than I would if I were to just try to draw this person for like something to look believable. because I'm trying to chart landmarks. I don't want to make her that skinny. She is quite skinny already. Yeah, yeah. And then we do that gesture, that skinny end of the forearm with sort of that triangular accent at the bottom of it. I don't know. I like that gesture. Getting a little bit of that typical like dimple as the trapezius is kind of overlapping the scapula a little bit. And a little bit of that gap when the trapezius leaves the scapula. Yeah, we're spelling it out on this one. That's fine. Excuse me. Perfect, but it's never good enough. So, you know how it is. But it is never good enough. Okay. And then let's maybe, invent some figures. How long do we have left? We have like 45 minutes. Feels like a sensible investment. It's so free to lay out all the layers of the drawings next to each other. And then it looks like you're like a super productive. Okay, let's get this arm out of here and into here, and then there you go. Doing a lot of raised arms. That's good. Raised arms are tough. Some of what I need to practice the most. Now, poses. I did a lot of yoga while studying at uni. Just like morning yoga from like YouTube videos, but with friends. was actually really nice. One of the things that Yoga with Adrienne does sometimes to, just get into it a little bit. Miel just followed. Thank you, thank you. One of the things that Yoga with Adrienne does is she'll just stand there and just like swing her arms around, and you feel so goofy. But that's what this pose is. Is the Yoga with Adrienne, the knocking on heaven's door exercise, she calls it. Because inevitably you slap yourself on the bum. But you just stand like this, swing your arms around. I miss doing yoga. I think it's one of those things that's like, as long as you don't push it, right? Just kind of so good for you. It's got some physical strenuous exercise, like some strength in it. It's got stretching. It doesn't feel like as much of a chore as those two things on their own do. Depending on who you are, of course. I don't know about that arm. It's quite long right now. And no. I think the silhouette is largely fine. Still feels long though. Something like that is what it looks like. Shift your weight a little bit back and forth. Could be a good thing to bring back into the morning routine. Well, we'll take it into consideration. Just doing a bit of yoga. Cool. And then let's knock that back, get into some more specifics. I suspect that this shoulder It's going to be tucked more when you do that movement. And then this one's actually like a pro tip I still use, is that, I mean, even on skinny people, there's typically like enough of an indication that you can tell the three major muscle groups of the lower arm apart. You don't have to like completely delineate them, but you can typically see, okay, here's the ridge muscles, the brachioradialis, and the extensor carpi radialis longus. Here's the extensors, and here's the flexors. You typically get enough information to be able to glean that grouping from the surface. And I like to indicate that in my drawings. Although that feels like a slightly big arm. And a slightly, I don't know. We're looking up at her a little bit. It's like fine. Maybe the hand is a little too big. Probably definitely is. You found a better app for maps. Congratulations. That sounds great. It looks straight up from Hoi 4. I don't know what that means. Every anatomy study character needs like a buzz cut so that the hair doesn't get in the way of the anatomy. Get it twisted. Hearts of Iron 4. A strategy game. Well, hey, that sounds nice. Hoi. That's what the Temtems say in Undertale. Man, remember the Temtems? The Timmies? Can't believe you killed those guys. You guys ever do the genocide run in Undertale? You guys bad people? I did, so I am. I'm bad people. I think I'm breaking the perspective a bit with the shoulder. What else do I think? Not that much yet. We'll see. I mean, to be fair, I played Undertale when I was a bit younger. So the idea of like beating a hard game, doing like a difficult thing in a video game, was more interesting to me than the ethical quandary of whether or not it's fair to do it to these people that whose world you're invading. But you have to admit, like, the Sans fight is devastating. Because you don't want to be Sans' enemy. You don't want to be the enemy of Sans. He's so cool. And then also, you beat him even though he's so cool, and then you destroy their world. Man, it's kind of a dick move. Feels a little better. Can we do? No. I don't think it's a Richet's band moment. Could be like a hip dips moment. Sure. I think actually the head is probably a bit small. We're not doing a lot of perspective here. It's completely reasonable head proportions. I just found this a little bit more appealing right now. And this part of the figure, this hand, this arm, is the one that I'm most unsure about. I think probably, yeah, I mean the continuity of the lines is all whack. Feels kind of acceptable. No, it's all sensible. Yeah, I mean, for my tastes, I would stretch the legs a bit, but kind of sensible proportions. This is probably whack. Yeah. All right. There's an invented figure. Let's do another one. And then we just kind of wait until the idea of a pose enters our mind. Okay, I mean, we're probably gonna fail this one. It's quite tricky. That's wrong, first of all. I think you'd fall here. Man, you gotta have so much like ankle mobility for like the Asian squat. And also, it's got interesting shoulder girdle stuff going on. Because it's like kind of draping your arms over your legs, right? Maybe that's too far. That I kind of believe. That this could possibly be. What like a very flexible Asian squat looks like. I don't know. Is maybe a supposed to study. First ones were definitely wrong. I think I drew people. I think this and this would have become people that are just too inflexible to do the Asian squat. This last one's definitely closer. And then I just think size of this head right now is kind of like child. It feels, if nothing else, this feels more like grown up. Okay, but okay, give me a second. I'll try it myself. Yeah, no, we pushed it too far. I don't think you're gonna get the feet that far back and the legs that low, the knees that low. Does feel more gravity defying, but I do think it's more correct too. I do think that's closer to how they be sitting when they do the Asian squat. How people be sitting. I think we can give the shoulder a bit more space here, the shoulder girdle, and then consequently move the hand in a little bit. we've had better luck inventing gestures today, inventing figures today than we usually do. Which is good, which is good. I just don't want like a false confidence from being a little closer one day. We could get into more specifics on this one. And, okay, so this arm is still whack though. Could do specifics, second pass on this one, or we could do another one. I'd rather do another drawing. Do a man. Honestly, mainly just working off the negative space that I've got right here. Like we could have somebody reclining here. Clavicle rolls back. Get scapula rotating out, something like that. Keep the other clavicle down. This guy's having a good time. I don't know if he's just like gotten a pentakill or handed in his like bachelor paper or what he's done, but he's for sure chilling. Maybe he's just watching soccer. Soccer watching pose. And you know we're going to do insane bodybuilder physique because that's what we've been studying today. I'll grow this hand a little bit. There's no looking back. Okay, I don't buy how long that leg looks. Thigh specifically. Nope. Yeah, because he's rotating the leg out. Most of the quads will be hidden. Okay, I think we can stretch the legs a little bit. Because of the perspective. And then if we are dealing with like a bodybuilder character, why would we have him skip leg day? Cool. Yeah. Wider shoulders probably. And this is a pose where the trapezius gets lowered somewhat, at least on, what's that, his left, or right now his left. I still think on like a big guy, you won't get that full like negative space from the trapezius that you get on some people. Would be my guess. That you don't get that. Cool. And then we could do like a second pass. at the very least on the face, right? We've established you have to have fun with the faces on your anatomy studies. Mandatory fun face on the anatomy study. But still, you know, with the we got to do the buzz cut still. Yep. Cool, cool, cool. And then let's just that's it. Let's wrap. We're out of time. Thanks for joining. Thanks for hanging out. That's all I got for you today. See you tomorrow. See you in the next one. Until then, have a good one.